Welcome to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I'm your host, Ant, and this week we're going to take a look at one of the big four. The big four being, for us metalheads, you have Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and the only East Coast band who just happened to be from New York City, Anthrax. And appropriately, this is episode 8 of this season of episodes that I'm tossing out there. So let's go with Volume 8 shirt today. Anthrax, Volume 8, The Threat is Real. So we're going to take a look at my Anthrax vinyl collection with one exception, just one, and that is one CD. We're not going to get into all of the, the greatest hits packages and, every single live album, not touching the DVDs, none of that. Gonna keep it to the vinyl, and we're gonna show you as many as we can, as many as I can. I'm gonna show you, and kind of concentrate on, the cool looking stuff, the colored stuff. So we're gonna go from beginning to end. I've got quite a big stack here, which I'm going to flip over. This thing weighs a ton. All right, so let's start back at the very beginning. If you know anything about Anthrax, their original lead singer was Neil Turbin, and Neil, and the original bass player was none other than the great Danny Lilker of Nuclear Assault. And if you happen to know the story, basically Neil Turbin's a real dick. He put it to the band, hey, you either get rid of me or you get rid of Danny. And he was kind of jealous of Danny because Danny was like this really tall guy. It's like he's like the closest thing to a human giraffe that we have. And Neil felt that since he was the lead singer, he was one that had to have presence and be on the, at the front of the stage and all that. So he felt that he needed to be the big man on campus, so to speak. So oddly enough, both of those fine gentlemen only lasted one album with Anthrax. Danny did go on to form Nuclear Assault, and he came back to the fold. He's been on tour with the boys at times, filling in for Frank Bello, and he also has SOD, which he has done with Charlie and Scott. So this is their first album. This is Fistful of Metal. This is where it all started. You have on this Death Rider, Metal Thrashing Mad, 18, which is the Alice Cooper cover. Panic, Subjugator, Soldiers of Metal, Death from Above, Anthrax, Across the River, and Howling Furies. Obviously standout tracks on this are Death Rider, Metal Thrashing Mad, and Soldiers of Metal. So you have this excellent first edition, first copy. If you have a first edition of it, this would be in pink. Kind of rare to come by. I think when they did the repress on them, they did in pink, but this is the original that was on Megaforce, basic black, nothing spectacular to see there. Next up, all right, they continued on with Spreading the Disease, okay? And on this one, you had AIR, Lone Justice, Madhouse, excellent track, SSC, Stand or Fall, The Enemy, Aftershock, Armed and Dangerous, Medusa, and Gung Ho, with Armed and Dangerous, Medusa, and Gung Ho really standing out aside from Madhouse and AIR. Great album. If you notice a couple of autographs there, and basic black Megaforce records as well. All right, this is the first EP that they put out, also basic black, nothing to see here. And this has Armed and Dangerous, Raise Hell, God Save the Queen, obviously a cover, Metal Thrashing Mad live, and Panic live. And at this point, the lineup's Danny, Charlie, Joey Belladonna, Scotty Ian, and Frank Bello. And that's the lineup that, existed for a long time and really is known as like the classic lineup of the band. Keeping it moving. This one is a huge album. This was just an amazing record, probably one of the best albums to come out in 1987. This is my original copy on that came out back in 87 on Megaforce, Island Records. Scott's always been a big reader of horror. And, this, if you notice the cover there, that may look a little familiar, a little Stephen King reference for you on there. In here, you've got the title track, Among the Living, Caught in a Mosh, another great song, I Am the Law, which, if you knew me back in my college days, that was where I got my name from. And, you know, another comic book geek at the time, you know, like Scott, Judge Dredd character in that song, based on the Judge Dredd comics. Elif Nicafessin, or as it's known when you put it frontwards, Nice Fucking Life. Skeleton in the Closet, like I said, front to back, solid. Then on the second side, Indians. What a great song to listen to, especially when you're in the pit. One World, ADI, the Horror of It All, and Imitation of Life. Yeah, great stuff. This is just all killer, no filler. With this one, you know, basic black, but on the interior you got the lyrics, liner notes. Show you that because that's just such a classic. This is where they really took off. And for me, this is where they decided to loosen up and start having fun. After this album, all right, they had a couple of EPs and singles, and one of them was this, Indians, which has on side 2, Sabbath Buddy Sabbath, and we got the first real taste of Anthrax's rather off-color comedy on here with the tune Taint. And if you know what your taint is, you'll get the joke. This is basic black on Island Records. Picture the band on the back. I don't know if I showed you the back picture on Among the Living. There's the boys in the subway right there. Pretty damn cool. And, you know, of all the thrash bands, it's like, yeah, Metallica has a sense of humor. They do good covers. All the bands, you know, in that genre, Megadeth does good covers, but not so much humorous. And Slayer, not so much either. They may have had, you know, good sense of humor, but they never really let it shine. It really came to the forefront with Anthrax with the next EP that came out, and that is I'm the Man. This is such a great tune. They actually redid it years later. You know, this is where, you know, they basically pretended to be B-boys. And on here we have I'm the Man, the censored radio version. Then you have I'm the Man, the deaf uncensored version. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath again. I'm the Man live, which is probably the best version there is. Caught in a Mosh live, and I Am the Law. You know, this is, you know, basic black, nothing to see. Picture the boys in the back. And, you know, you would think this is where, like, the whole rap metal thing, you know, really kicked off. I know there was Run DMC and Aerosmith. I know with Walk This Way. But even before this, before them doing I'm the Man, which is, you know, it's parodying rap, but it's fantastic. It's freaking hysterically funny. Before that, you can go look it up. I thought I owned it. I know I own it somewhere. Just can't find it. Is the rap crew UTFO, and they put an album called Lethal. And on the title track, Lethal, Anthrax does some of the background vocals. And it has them credited there, featured Anthrax, which is really cool. So that was 87. That was the first time that, you know, you had like the hardcore hip hop and, you know, thrash metal kind of mixing it up. And somewhere down the line that mutated into nu metal, which is its whole other thing. But this was 91. So that, you know, UTFO, you know, Lethal predates this by 4 years. All right. Actually, but this one is 87 too as well. Right. But UTFO came out first. Yeah, UTFO came out first, then there's this. They redid this in 91. So then next on the agenda, State of Euphoria, the follow-up to Among the Living. This is a great album. Got a cartoon pic of the boys in the back with their infamous Not Man. State of Euphoria has some great tracks. Be All End All, Out of Sight, Out of Mind, Make Me Laugh. Cover of the Trust tune Antisocial, Who Cares When. Now It's Dark, great tune. Schism, Misery Loves Company, 13, and Finale. You know, still rocking with the, you know, the classic lineup here. And got a picture of the boys there. And lyrics, liner notes, all that good stuff here. And this version was the direct metal mastering, which was like a big deal back in the day. You know, as far as, you know, the quality of the album. Still sounds awesome today. And this is, you know, this is the original album that I have, you know, going all the way back to 88. Now, this is where we got the one CD and also one of their EPs. This is Make Me Laugh. All right. It also comes with Friggin' and the Riggin'. You know, same front and back. This had a poster with it. I'm sure I left it in college because the poster is not here anymore. What a shame. You know, basic black, still on Island Records, nothing to see there. And they had this cool thing, you know, and I've managed to keep this in pretty decent shape all these years, right? Little triangular Anthrax CD case. And in here, all right, you have Make Me Laugh, Friggin' in the Riggin', and Antisocial. All right, this folds out as such. Kind of a horror show there. And there you go. Got the CD with all the boys on there. Turn that around for you to see. And, you know, I actually dug Friggin' in the Riggin'. I think that's a funny track. Like, again, you know, like I said, once again, you know, Anthrax was the band that, like, really introduced a bigger sense of humor because metal was such a, you know, especially thrash was, like, such this imposing thing. And, you know, they said screw it. They came out wearing, you know, wearing jams. They had no problem with, you know, poking fun at themselves, poking fun at genres, and you know they're you know they should be you know commended for it because you know showed that everything wasn't so dark and dreary and heavy and moody. Next up, this is Persistence of Time, and this is like one of the newer represses of it. I have the original on CD. I've never been able to find a good copy on of the original. And, you know, I picked this up because it needed it as far as vinyl goes, and it looks pretty damn cool. And the good thing about this is it's a triple vinyl set, and it's got a ton of bonus material on it, which is great because, you know, if you're gonna buy one of these bonus editions, you know, it's always neat if they have something on there that's worthwhile, makes it worth picking up. These are all really funky looking vinyls. Dig the the colorscape that goes along with the colors of the album. I'll even show you the third one before I show you the jacket itself and we talk about the tunes here. So actually quadruple vinyl, I forgot. This one's 4 slabs. This is got a lot of stuff on it, which is great. So once again, pretty cool looking vinyl right there. You know, great effect as far as when they put this one together. Could have used probably a sturdier, you know, case for it, but hey, it is what it is. I don't make them. I just buy them and enjoy them and share them with you all here. So you have that, and we'll take a look. This also came in a booklet, or actually a sheet, and then you have the actual gatefold there. Some photos of the band and the back. And this has a ton of stuff, and you know, like I said, still the classic lineup. You know, still kicking ass. All right, you got Time, which is the cover from Joe Jackson. No, not Time. It's Got the Time. You've got Time, Blood, Keep It in the Family, great tune. In My World, Gridlock, Intro to Reality, Belly of the Beast, another Stephen King, referenced song. Got the Time. There we go, and I've Got the Time. Great track. I mean, I'm a big Joe Jackson fan. I've loved Joe Jackson since I was a kid. And the bass line was always fantastic on that song. And Frank does an awesome job of really bringing it to the forefront, even more so on their cover of it. Hatred, One Man Stands, Discharge, On the Man, the illest version ever, which is pretty damn good. Live version of Time, and Got the Time pre-production mix. Also have pre-production of In My World with Scott on the guide vocal. Hatred, which is Rehearsal Room, Charlie's riff tape, pre-production, Discharge from Charlie's riff tape in the Rehearsal Room pre-production. Keep It in the Family, Scott's got his guide vocal on that. Blood from their Rehearsal Room. I wonder if that's the Rehearsal Room up in Yonkers that burnt down in the fire. Don't remember the time frame on that. I'm sure my buddy Kevin Lynch can chime in and you know, maybe comment below. Intro to Reality, Belly of the Beast, it's the tracking version of it, and One Man Stands pre-production, and Time again pre-production with Scott on guide vocals there. So you know, this is a pretty big, you know, reissue, pretty well done. You know, I also bought the deluxe editions on CD. Maybe one day I'll break them out. You know, I don't know, to show you guys, but have those all as well. But like I said, this is going to be a long episode. I try not to make them longer than 20-25 minutes, but Anthrax has a ton of stuff. I have as many of their vinyls as I can find. The only thing that I haven't been able to get on vinyl, which I know exists, is Return of the Killer A's, which is something I haven't been able to locate as of yet, nor the original version of this. But one day, we'll get there. Speaking of Return of the Killer A's, you had Attack of the Killer Bees, right? Got the front and back there, basic black vinyl, black interior. Lyrics and liner notes are on the back of this. And this is their, basically, they call it their longest EP ever. And it's, B-sides, cover tunes, stuff like that. So you have Milk, Ode to Billy, Billy being Billy Milano of SOD/MOD fame. Also was Anthrax's roadie. You have Bring the Noise. Love their version of Bring the Noise with Public Enemy #1. Keep It in the Family, live version of that. One of the funnier tunes is they're kind of sniping at the PMRC as a kind of like an old cowboy tune with Starting Up a Posse. Protest and Survive, Chromatic Death, Anthrax version of Chromatic Death, very cool. I'm the Man 91, this is where it appears, and this is like a revved up version of the original. Parasite, the Kiss cover, Pipeline, Sex, Belly of the Beast live, and NFB, which is Nice Fucking Ballad. All right, so you have that. Great tunes on here. This is a fun listen, especially very loud, like everything by Anthrax. All right, next in the catalog, all right, we had a change. This is where things got a little different. All right, it was time for things to change, and Joey Belladonna left the band. Okay, and at this point, they needed a replacement singer, and Joey's voice is much more high end, hits higher notes, and oddly enough, what they did was they went out and got John Bush from Armored Saint, and when I first heard it, I was kind of like, I don't know, and it's like, love John Bush. John Bush is awesome, a great vocalist. He's got great grit, much more of a low rumble to his voice, very powerful voice. I don't know if it was going to fit with Anthrax, but you know what? It does. And it's phenomenal. So in this album, this is the sound of White Noise. Oddly enough, this was limited to 1,400. And with this version of the album, for some reason, they only sold it, the re-release, in Germany. It just came out this year. And once again, have it on CD. But with this was the first album with Bush. And it really kicks ass. It starts off with Potter's Field, Only, which is a great song. Room for One More, another great song. Package Rebellion, High Pro Glow, Invisible. 1,000 Points of Hate, Black Lodge, fantastic song. CHNOSNA, with all the little chemical symbols in there, which is sodium pentothal, truth serum. Burst, This is Not an Exit, and this has the string mix of Black Lodge as well. Lyrics, liner notes, photo of the band there. And with this, it's basic. Oh no, this one is not basic black. That's right, this is funky pink and black. How cool is that? All right, with the Anthrax pentagram. And it's it's a double vinyl set. Really, really like this album a lot. Listened to the hell out of it when it first came out. Still listen to it today. There's the other slab of vinyl, as gorgeous as you want to be. Pink, black, and white. Very, very cool looking. If you want to try and track this down, I think there's probably still some left over at Nuclear Blast, Germany. All right. After that came out chronologically, even though this was re-released this year, it came out years and years ago, obviously, back when John was in the band. You had a live album that Anthrax put out. They put out a couple of them. The first full live album was Live the Island Years. And here in the States, that was CD only. All right. But in the UK, they have an audiophile limited vinyl edition, and it's number 1743. Okay. And there you notice you have the album cover in black and white with the track listing for the album itself, and it's a good track listing. You got NFL, AIR, Parasite, great cover. Keep It in the Family, Caught in a Mosh, Indians, another one, Antisocial, Bring the Noise, I Am the Law, Metal Thrashing, Mad, In My World, and Now It's Dark. This is basic black. But the cool thing is, you may have seen that drop out. All right, what they did was they included the CD booklet over in the UK, which has, photos, liner notes right there. All right, and more photos on the back. So you have all that there. And I'm really happy to have this one in my collection. It's not easy to find. It is not cheap, generally, if you do come across a copy of it. And it's a great live document of the band. Excuse me. So, take a sip of water here before we get to the next one. Probably a little more than a sip. So, next up, kind of a weird cover on this one. This is Stomp 442, again with the incredible John Bush on vocals. And you have collage of pictures and stuff there. Basically a close-up of the front cover. And inside here, very cool looking blue vinyl. All right. Anthrax labels there, very nice. And this is another double album. Once again, had the original on CD, and they did this re-release on colored vinyl. I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Here, dig my money. So that was very happy to have this one as well. This is the same color, nothing spectacular there. But as far as the track listing goes, got a couple of really good tracks on this one as well. Not my favorite Anthrax album, but it's an Anthrax album. It's really not too bad. So you've got Random Acts of Senseless Violence. Dig that one. Fueled. That was probably the biggest song off of this. King Size, Riding Shotgun, Perpetual Motion. In His Own, Nothing, American, Pompeii, Drop the Ball, Tester, Bear, and then finally Grunt and Click. So that was 442, Stomp 442 by Anthrax. Moving right along, this was probably their most experimental album. Definitely the most experimental album that they did with Bush. All right, and this is where we kind of saw another departure for them. At this point, they're basically a four-piece. All right, Mr. Caggiano hadn't been added into the mix as of yet, and you have lyrics, liner notes in there, some photos. And this is another very cool looking vinyl as well. Got like a blue in there if you can see it. Like a blue's encased in the yellow. Very, very funky looking. It's a very light effect overall and kind of a light effect on camera. And obviously this is Anthrax Volume 8. The Threat Is Real. And with this one, you've got a red inside of an orange swirl in there as well. And let's talk a second about this one. All right. So with this, all right, you have some pretty classic Anthrax tune on this one. This one, like I said, very, very much, definitely the most experimental of all the Anthrax albums. You have Crush, Catharsis, Inside Out, P&V, 604, Toast to the Extras, which I absolutely love, Born Again Idiot, Killing Box, good song, Harm's Way, Hogtied, Big Fat Cup of Joe, Alpha Male, Stealing from a Thief, I dig that, Pieces, Giving the Horns, The Bends, Snap, I'd Rather Be Sleeping. All right, so you've got all that. If you notice, Frankie got a haircut. Anthrax Volume 8, The Threat Is Real. And yeah, good stuff from the boys in Anthrax there. Moving along, now we've got the addition of Mr. Caggiano, Yonkers boy. All right, so you have that. I believe it was a Mount St. Michael boy. Anthrax, Worship Music. Got the gate there with lyrics and liner notes. The back, very, very cool looking cover there. We've Come For You All. This is another funky looking one. This one's really cool looking too. So you've got purple and white splatter there, kind of, you know, goes in with the cover. Obviously, we're going to be color coordinated. So you have that, and you got the cool Anthrax labels on there, black and white. 2 slabs of vinyl. Let's show them both, especially when they're beautiful like this. All right. You know, big stark difference from one side to the other. Very cool. It's almost like tie-dye. And then next, this is like the one greatest hits package I'm really going to show you because, you know, it is, you know, it's cool. It's a cool collection of stuff. It's picked by the fans. You know, you really can't complain when stuff is picked by the fans. You know, we're the fans. We want to hear what we want to hear, right? So you have this one. This one is called The Greater of Two Evils. And you have front, back, gatefold inside. All right. And, you know, pretty cool concept on this one. So, you know, what they did was they had John Bush do the vocals for the entire album, but what they did was they went back to their, just want to make sure there's nothing in there I couldn't remember. They went back to their entire catalog. So you have, you know, some great stuff, and it's, you know, basically John Bush, you know, it should be the greater of all evils, I think you should call it, because you do have Death Rider on here, which was originally done by Neil Turbin. You've got Metal Thrashing Mad, Caught in a Mosh, AIR, Among the Living, one of my favorite tracks, Keep It in the Family, Indians, Madhouse, Panic, I Am the Law, Belly of the Beast, NFL, Be All End All, Gung Ho, Anthrax, Lone Justice, and In My World, which are bonus tracks. You know, so you have that. Very cool. Like I said, should be the greatest of all evil because it really is, you know, the first 2 vocalists being covered by you know, at the time, the current vocalist. So that was that. Very cool. Getting through this. Can't believe the speed. Getting through this quick. Next up, you know, this kind of looks similar cover-wise to We've Come For You All. And this one's called Worship Music. So, you know, this one, you know, you have kind of like The Living and then The Living Dead. This is a great album. You know, you have, you know, this album, you have the Mr. Belladonna's back. You know, see the boys fighting zombies. Very cool, and there they are. Awesome stuff. Guess we're praying to Saint Anthrax on the with the praying hands here on the back. Cool stuff on here. Worship, Earth or Hell, The Devil You Know, great tune. Fight 'Em Till You Can't, love that song. I'm Alive, In the End, The Giant, Judas Priest, Crawl, The Constant, and Revolution Screams. And with this, another funky looking vinyl. How funky cool is that? That is funkin' cool, man. And look at that. That is just gorgeous. You know, and it looks pretty cool spinning away. I have a little LED light underneath my turntable, which just makes it even that more funky looking. Maybe one day I'll show that on one of the videos. It's kind of neat little addition I have to my turntable. And, you know, with this single album, but, you know, it is a gatefold, which is nice. And the vinyl is absolutely gorgeous. So I can't complain there. All right. Next, another bunch. This one is, you know, Anthrax, like I said, they do great covers. So what they did was they did a whole album of them. All right. And the cool thing is, you know, there were 10 bands for the cause, one of the 10 bands for the cause. And that cause would be, you know, fight breast cancer. I mean, if you're gonna do something for charity, that's a great one to do it for. This is Anthrax Anthems, and this is them covering some of their favorite songs by some of their favorite artists that they listened to growing up, which is a lot of the same ones that I listened to growing up. So you have Anthem by Rush, TNT by AC/DC, Smokin' by Boston, Keep On Running from Journey, which is a great tune. Big Eyes from Cheap Trick, Jailbreak by the immortal Thin Lizzy, Black Math by the White Stripes, and Carry On My Wayward Son. And Joey Belladonna does an amazing job with the vocals on this album. And with this, got this funky, one of these hermetically sealed ones, got this funky pink vinyl there. You know, and this is great. Like I said, some of the money going to charity, yeah, very cool. You know, and it's like a great collection of songs. This is a good one to, you know, have in the car cranked up. Obviously not on vinyl, but, you know, have it in the car cranked up louder on the, you know, on the porch or the deck, just chilling by the pool, listening to this. Great covers from there. Getting down to the bitter end. Only got 2 left. Can't believe it. Motoring. 4 All Kings. All right, this was the latest of the Anthrax studio albums. Waiting with bated breath for new material, dudes. All right, got the back, you know, a little bit of a sheen to this one, and this is a cool one. This one, we have the hype sticker on this over here. This is limited to 300 copies. Very cool. Oddly enough, I have 2 of them. Don't ask. So one of them I'm probably going to sell sometime down the line. It's still sealed. Look at this. Talk about Funkenstein there, man. That is very cool. You know, purple, clear, and splattered. Kind of looks like a bird took a dump on it, but hey, you know, I dig it. Wouldn't dig it if a bird took a dump on it, but I dig it all the same. So, yeah, this is a cool album. You know, this is really a return to form for them. They're firing on all cylinders on this album. I really, really dig it. And they, you know, they've managed, you know, through all their trials and tribulations, they've managed to put out some really good material. And I think they don't get enough credit as far as the Big Four goes. I'm going to put that back later instead of torturing myself. Show you the other one. And then we'll talk about the album for a second. Then we'll look at our final one of the week. And there we go. Clear, purple, and bird crap splat. Awesome. Gotta love it. So you have that. And on this album, like I said, return to form for them. And you have on here, the one change on this album is John Donay says on here on guitar with Scotty. Kaj went elsewhere, as well as you know, Bush's return to Armored Saint. But you know, the core guys are there. The core 4, you know, really there. You Gotta Believe, great tune. Monster in the End, another one. For All Kings title track, another one. Breathing Lightning, Suzerain, Evil Twin, totally love that track. Blood Eagle Wings, great song. Defend Avenge, All of Them Thieves, like that one. The Battle Chose Us, love that one. And Zero Tolerance, yeah, great latter day album from Anthrax. Now finally, all right, last thing I have for you is another monster collection. All right, this cover look kind of familiar. Yeah, it probably does. These guys are big fans, like all New York bands are, of Kiss. So you have the Anthrax version of Rock and Roll Over, and this is a massive live album. So we'll go through this, give you a look. And then we have that as well. Some great photos of the band in a live setting. And on the back, you've got your track listings. And it even comes with this, you know, tour book, if you want to call it that. It's not really a tour book, but, you know, I guess it's simulated, but it shows you all the tour dates there on this massive world tour that they went on. And this one's called Kings Among Scotland. Obviously recorded in Scotland. All right. Cool pictures of Scott and Charlie. If you notice up behind me with that hand reaching down next to the Leeway album, that is a Charlie Benante solo album that he put together during lockdown. It's called Moving Pictures. And it's, you know, Rush covers. Pretty cool. So there's the stage setup. It's nice to see them with a big stage set up for them. You know, definitely fought their way through the trenches. These guys, you know, they deserve all the accolades that they can get. last but not least, John, new dude. And there's the boys all together. And there we go. Shows you all their albums right there, all the studio albums right there, along with the latest and the greatest this live album. So let's take a look at the vinyl, and then we'll talk tracks and then wrap it up. Then I'll beg you to subscribe to the page. All right. Kind of a cool red. All right, magenta, I guess you could call it. And then we'll look at the next one as I fumble along, as I'm getting tired. That's the first of them. This is why I take most of the albums out before I do this, so I'm not like bumbling around. Then the next one, beautiful blue, opaque like sky blue. And then, don't fight me. We have this one as well, which is a beautiful purple. All right, and on the back here, I'll see if you can make it out. There is the Knot Man, right there. Check him out. Very cool. So that's the 3 albums contained within, the 4 sides, with the last one being an etching of Knot Man. Obviously not playable on any turntable, but why would you want to mess up that beautiful face? So let's talk about this. We kick it off with AIR. Evil Twin, Medusa, Blood Eagle Wings, Fight 'em Till You Can't, Be All End All, Breathing Lightning, and then you have the Among the Living set. Among the Living, Caught in a Mosh, One World, I Am the Law, Skeleton in the Closet, NFL, ADI, Horror of It All, and Indians to close that out. And, very cool stage setup there. That is everything I have in my vinyl Anthrax collection to date. I do have CDs. There are some other things, anthology and stuff like that. And, there's other stuff. But like I said, I don't want to spend all day here. I'm almost at 40 minutes as is. So as we wrap up, I want to thank everybody for coming back week after week, supporting my channel, checking out the stuff that I have. Love sharing it with everybody. Next week, be back to a more normal, more normal episode, just, stuff that I've been getting. I've got a couple of cool things as of late. Finished off a box set collection that I've been trying to finish off for a couple of years. So that's everything I have for today. Thank you. Appreciate your time, appreciate your patience, and please, if you haven't done so yet, hit the frickin' subscribe button, would you? Come on, help a brother out. Also, click like, share the video on other platforms, make people aware. I want to grow this channel, all right? So thank you so much. As I always say, peace, one love, and music. Me and Anthrax, we're out.